warriors. I am Reverend Elisha Christopher. I'm the spiritual director here at this center. I use they and them pronouns. My ancestors come from all over the world, but what I know is that they immigrated to this country from Ireland, Scotland, Austria, and Holland. Take a deep breath and let it go. Another deep breath in and let it go. Yeah, let's do that together one more time. Breathe in and let it go. So this year, our theme throughout the Centers for Spiritual Living is a grand rising. And it's all about this evolutionary invitation for all of us to become the more of us, to become who we're becoming, to become who we're being called to be. And this month, our theme is That's How We've Never Done It. Which is all about those leaps, those shifts that we have to make to step into new ways of doing and being in order to actually live into the new ideas in a new way, right? So there's a story that I was retold or reheard recently that has been kind of cycling around in my mind. And you may have heard of it as called the story of the rabbi's gift. Has anyone heard this story before? Oh, good, only one, so I get to tell you all for the first time. So the story goes like this. There's a monastery that's been around for quite some time, and the monks and nuns there are, doing their business and living in this place. And, this monastery has been what it's been for 100 years. And over time, it's kind of not dried up, but it kind of has lost its essence. And, so the monks and nuns are doing their practice. They're going about the routines of being there. But really, there's no one from the village comes to pray anymore. No one comes to spend time there. The gardens have become untended, and it's kind of vacant and quiet most of the time. Well, just outside of the monastery, there's a hermitage where a local rabbi goes and spends lots of time alone. And the abbot at the monastery has a relationship with the rabbi. And so they go and they sit and they talk. They have conversations. And the abbot's talking to the rabbi about the state of the monastery, that it's kind of in disrepair, that it needs new attention. How do they call in new people? How do we change what's going on here? And they have a dialogue, and they keep talking, and then as the abbot gets up to leave, the rabbi says, I have a message for you. I don't know what it means, but one of you is the Messiah. And the abbot goes, wait, what? One of us? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, what do I do with that? He goes, I don't know. So he goes back, and he tells the monks and the nuns in the monastery, he says, one of us is the Messiah. And now they all start talking, like, well, who? Let's assess the situation here. If one of us is the Messiah, who could it possibly be? And so little murmurs start to move around the community. Could it be Sister Cheryl? The way that she prays, I feel the Spirit inside of her. Right? Or could it be Sister Gitanjali? When she sings, I hear the voice of God. Could it be Brother Tom, who's always here between things, moving the chairs around, fixing the light bulbs, doing all this service that's invisible to everyone? Right? Maybe it's Sister Susan, who's standing in the back of the room, counting how many of us are here right now. Right? And so they all start to look at each other. Could it be you? Could it, wait a minute. And then maybe in their meditation, one of them sits and says, uh-oh. Could it be me? What does that mean? And as this searching happens, this new, fresh aliveness starts to awaken in the community. And they notice that the birds start even coming back. That one day there's a family sitting out on the lawn having a picnic. That the villagers are starting to come around and say, hey, what could we do to help with the gardens? That this shift in perspective, suddenly they looked around and over time found that the place had returned to flourishing. And that the village was participating, the animals were there was a depth of practice and song, and something awakened in the community. And the thing that I love about this story is that it's a reminder to all of us what happens when we start to look for God. Yeah. Because really the message was, there's God in one of you. Maybe the message was, there's God in all of you. But that little whisper of, well, one of you's special, one of you's the Messiah, it sparked this awareness that, well, we need to look. Who is it? Where is it? How do we find it? And then they started to see that light in each other. They started to see that light in themselves. And then that light began to shine. And I read in one of Deepak Chopra's books years ago that his idea is that if there is a next Messiah or avatar or savior that comes to the world, it won't be an individual, it will be a community. Right? And so what if that awakening that we're talking about is the awakening of us as community, where we step into the deep mutual seeing of the other, looking for the divine, looking back at us in every interaction. Right? But then we take it outside of the community and we start to look for God everywhere, in everyone, even in those people, whoever those people might be for you. Right? And then everyone and everything then becomes an invitation to ask us, how would you show up if this was spirit, if this was the divine, if this was God standing right in front of you, asking something from you? What is being called forth? What is being brought forward? And I think that that is an invitation into a deep and powerful and transformative practice. And when this theme of grand rising, and that's how we've never done it, what would it look like if that was how we began to do it? If we actually moved through the world as if we were looking for the divine, that spark of truth in everyone, in everything, everywhere. Because that's the core, that's the depth of the practice. If we are going to stand here week after week and remind ourselves that God is all that there is, then period. It's not God is all there is and, or, if, but, when, right? Because we often say, well, I see, it's all God, but then what about that thing? But what about that person? You know, and there's a lot of that. There's a lot of stuff that could catch our attention and say, but no, 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 no. The thing is I had this realization the other day that what if, just what if, the horrors of the world don't actually outweigh all the good that's happening? It's just what we give our attention to. Right? And so we live in a world that likes to perpetuate the misery for some silly reason. And so we get it coming at us through all of our screens, telling us, oh, this is all happening that's so bad and so horrible and so wrong. And that's, yes, that is happening, and it does need our attention. But what if it's not the whole picture? What if there's so much good and so much magic and so many people doing the healing work and working for change and lifting each other up, but it's all happening in the background and we don't see it? Because what's in our face is the things that catch our attention the most, that they want to hold our attention on. And we need to begin to choose to look for something else. Because what if we gave all of our attention to the things that are working, to the people who are doing the good in the world, to the people who are doing the healing work? What if that was what we were blasting on the news every single day? Yeah. Right? Yeah. And then from that place, how would we would feel so much more empowered to step into and support and shift and change the things that really do need our attention, to lift the people up who really do need our help, because we would feel that inspiration that there is good happening in the world and we want to be part of it. Instead of saying there's so much bad, there's so much war, there's so much pain, there's nothing I can do. But if we choose to look for God, if we choose to look for the good, that will expand in our awareness. And then we will begin to believe in the power of that good, to believe in the power of that love. I had a conversation with someone here this week, I think it was Annika, we were chatting for a moment, that, and we've said this here before, do we believe in the healing power of love and forgiveness and peace and possibility as much as the people who believe in war and separation and fear and power over? Are we as rabid about our love as they are about their hate? I don't think so. So what would it look like if we actually stepped up to live into the principles that we say we believe, to be the healers, to be the peacemakers, to be the children of the one God that is living and breathing in everyone, and bring that awareness everywhere we go? Like the world is waiting for us to wake up, to step up, to be the voice that is needed right now. And if we don't do it, no one is going to. I came from a religion growing up that told me someone was going to come and save us. And I got to tell you, nobody's coming. Not Jesus, not aliens, not whoever you're waiting for. They're not coming. It's you. You are the Messiah. You are the Savior. You are the one the world has been waiting for. What if you were the answer to the prayer? What if you were the answer to the prayer? How would you live if you were the one who was sent here to save us all? It's a little responsibility. But I think you're up to it. I think I'm up to it. I think we're all up to it, because when we're up to it together, we can support each other, we can march with each other, we can stand with each other, we can lift each other up, we can cry with each other, we can pray with each other. That's what the power of community is. That's the awakening that we are here for, to be in it together. And then that's the thing we're waiting for. We're waiting for us to shift, to change, to step up. So I'm going to tell you, one of you is the Messiah. Let's figure out who. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Take another deep breath in. Let it go. And as you breathe in again, I remind all of us that we are being breathed by something greater than ourselves. What I know is that I am breathed by God. Because what I know is that there is one presence, one power, one infinite being, one seamless life that is living and breathing in everyone and everything, everywhen, everywhere, in every circumstance, in all that is happening. There is one life unfolding here. And it is the life of God. It is the life of the earth. It is the life that is living and breathing as each one of us. So let us realize that that one mind loved the world so much that it sent you. It sent me. It sent each one of us here to be here, right now, at this moment in time, at this moment in history. Each one of us was sent here on purpose, with purpose, for a purpose. And so let us begin to awaken to that idea that each one of us has been sent here. We chose to come here on purpose because the world needs us, because we are the answer to the prayer. And humanity is crying out for a new way. Let us show the way. Let us reveal the way. Let us become the way. Let us allow the way to lure us forward, because even if we don't know how to do it or where we're going, there is something greater at work here. Let it pull us. Let it drive us. Let it bring us to where we are going. And let us learn to open and surrender and get out of the way so that God can come through. I am so deeply grateful for this place, for this community, this common unity that exists between us, not only here in this room, but the common unity that exists within, as, and through all people. Not only all people, all life, all beings, the planet itself, the entirety of existence is one. The moment we actually all truly remember this truth, everything can change. Let us not forget who we are. Let us not be so blinded by what is that we forget what could be. And so I just open in this moment into even more gratitude. Knowing that each one of us is here to look for God in each other. And now know that what we are looking for is looking for us. And so let us surrender, let us breathe, remembering that we are being breathed, remembering that there is a power for good in this universe that is so much greater than we are, yet it is who we are. Let's open up and let it come through. And so with that, I bless it. Let it be. And so it is.